and that's home, you know. Sweet tea, pecan pie, homemade wine, where the peaches grow. And my house, it's not much to talk about, but it's filled when love is grown in southern ground, and a little bit of chicken fried, cold beer on Friday night.
We're in South Carolina now, but where's Wilmington? In North Carolina.
Yeah.
So now we're in a new state. We're in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Just stopping here for half an hour at Walmart. Just to get some snacks and go to the toilet. I don't really need to go to the toilet, do you?
I don't, but might as well.
Yeah, true. What?
Put all three of these together to make a small.
A small, not a schmall. There's the H in it. Are you going to do that?
No, it's all stuff with the boat. Just for that. I'm not going to do that.
Get back where? Ah, yeah. What's it called?
The Musketeers. Three Musketeers.
Show me. Just a Milky Way.
The Milky Way or the other one? It's the other one.
I went down the wrong way.
I'm choking on your Milky Way.
Hmm?
They're choking on your Milky Way.
Yep. I'm choking my musketeer.
Things to fit just right, and the radio, the life seems sunrise. See the love in my woman's eyes. I feel the touch of my precious child, and no mother's love.
Politician, and he was a local businessman, and he was also a Republican politician in the area. And so they built that bridge and honored it after him. So Charleston is actually on kind of a pretty interesting area of land. So it's actually surrounded by a couple different rivers, and then it goes right into the Atlantic Ocean. So as you see as we're coming in, it's a very important port city. There's a lot of naval activity that goes on here as well. However, the historical significance of this town is pretty big. However, it does have kind of a bit of a dark history here as well. So it was actually founded back in 1670 by English colonists. And originally they actually named it after King Charles II, so they had named it Charlestown. And the early immigration laws of the colony here, they were really loose, right? So all of a sudden they had all these people kind of flocking in from different backgrounds, different heritages, but they had this huge influx of French settlers here.
Got to Charleston. Where's Charleston? What state?
State.
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Really?
Carolina, is it?
City Market Street, guys. Just remember back by 215.
So this is the Charleston market. It used to be a slave market. Now it's just a normal market. It's hot.
Majority of the slaves lived, is that right?
There's a lot of their, like, their money in the town was like based on slaves.
Slaves.
And like like the work that they were doing in cotton and whatnot.
Yeah. And they...
Those markets are in just for people to sell slaves.
Oh, so they sold
They
slaves in
sold slaves
there?
in the markets, yeah.
Ah, wow, okay. And so there was a time when they were the majority and they tried to take over, but they didn't. And then when the white people heard about it, they made conditions worse for them.
Yeah, put them in jail, gave them less rights.
Yeah, and shackled them, and they treated them really badly here.
That face. That hungry face.
Not even hungry, I'm so annoyed.
Why?
You made me walk like 15 minutes in the sun, and you didn't know
So what? Get a 10. We're sitting at the bar. I got a pulled pork sandwich. What did you get? A pulled pork taco. I got the chips at the side, like potato chips.
I'm gonna eat this side.
Just walking past this cool customs house. What? What do you mean with that? We're just walking down these nice streets. Melissa forgot her camera bag.
Where we got to eat. So stupid.
We ran and got it
We
back.
had to run and get it. And she's like, why are you running for? We don't
still
have
be
any
there.
problems like that. I'm like, yeah, but can we just leave shit somewhere?
Location, that's not really gonna help you actually, but just keep in mind that they will like check it.
Auction them off right there. So it's like a huge thing here. So it's a really dark history when it comes to the slave trade. And when we moved down, go to Savannah, we're about 2 hours, 15 minutes away. But when James Edward Oglethorpe, who originally founded Savannah, when he first moved there, he actually made slavery illegal. And then they actually ended up following suit, though, after South Carolina, because they saw how prosperous it was, and they ended up making it legal. But that was just because they were getting pressure to keep up with the performance of the cotton industry that was going on here. So definitely a huge slave trade industry here. But we are going to go ahead and get out of here. Like I said, about 2 hours, 15 minutes until we get to Savannah. When we do get into town, we have to stop again and get another bus permit. The march was upwards of almost 70,000 people. So the leaders of the Confederate Army here realized we're not going to win. So what they did was they marched out and they met up with William Sherman, and they basically said, look, we will give up this city as long as you promise not to burn it down, because they saw how beautiful it was. They knew how insanely beautiful it was. They loved the history here, and they didn't want it to burn down.
We're in Savannah, y'all.
Savannah.
I don't know why we keep getting these double beds. I think they just ordered twin rooms for everyone in couples. It's so bizarre. But we're just on the first floor.
What's that view like?
Desk and whatever here. TV. It's so weird. The bathroom is like outside of the bathroom. So there's the sink there. And then the bathroom's here. And the shower. That's really bizarre. And then what's in here? Yeah, just ironing Okay.
We're here for 2 days, yeah?
Yes.
We're only here for 1 day.
I know.
Can't settle in.
2 days. Let's go get some ice cream and go to our tour. So we just stepped out of our hotel in Savannah. I love it already. It's so pretty. I actually feel like I'm in Europe.
Yeah.
So nice. But we are just about to, we have our ghost tour booked for 7:30 and it's about 6 now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're gonna get something to eat first, maybe some ice cream, and then we'll go. But I didn't tell you, but I noticed, I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but I feel like my teeth are like getting so yellow and I don't know why. It's really freaking me out. So I bought like this whitening, I got whitening toothpaste and I bought these other whitening stuff. It's like not full on strong, so it won't make you like wreck your teeth or anything. But I don't know what to do. I really want to go to a dentist when I get home. It's really freaking me out. James said I drink too much coffee, so I'm not drinking any coffee or tea anymore. It's really...
You've had a coffee in like 4 days.
I know, I haven't had a coffee since my family on the weekend, yeah, 4 days. But like my front teeth are not too bad, it's just all the sides and then from the, like halfway on these bottom teeth. And oh, I'm getting so freaked out. I'm like, yep, no, not gonna drink coffee. I've been having coffee so much this last year. Every day I'll have a cup of coffee or 3. It's really bad, so it must be the coffee. But I love coffee now, and I love tea, and I love wine. It doesn't matter. It must look so funny, baby.
Yeah. Recording.
This weather is so nice. Like it's not humid, but it's really warm. Don't you actually feel like you're at home?
Yeah, it feels good. This is the second park we went through. This is actually where we're going to meet up for the ghost tour.
What are you getting?
And scholarship.
Nice.
What are you getting? Banana?
Banana
Chocolate.
and chocolate.
I'll grab 2, thank you. I'll grab 2, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Really?
Like a salad.
So you said no to a salad? So, oh, these are cute. Let's take a photo of them first.
So we got a peanut butter and cheese. Not peanut butter and cheese. What did we get? So we got a peanut butter and jelly. It's been toasted and chips too on the side. How is it? It's good?
Yeah.
So we're on our haunted Savannah tour. So we're just walking to, I think, the first place. We just had like an introduction.
Now the first place we're going to talk about is right behind us here. This is a beautiful old Pink House restaurant and tavern. It is probably one of the best restaurants in town. It's also one of the oldest buildings, about 1771. It was owned by James Habersham Jr. He was a wealthy merchant planter here in Savannah. And he's very proud of the house and is still there today. Now these stories are all featured on the Travel Channel show, America's Most Haunted Places. Now if you look at the window by a tree there, they have a lot of candlelit tables. And one of the waitresses, her job in the night was go on those dining rooms to blow out all the candles. So she went in, she blew all the candles off the table, along the walls, you know, getting ready to close down for the night. Something told her that she better go check the dining room out before she went downstairs. She's glad she did because she went back in there, candles were relit. She's like, well, I really blew them out earlier, but there was smoke in there where she did, so she definitely did. So somebody else wanted those candles back on. There was a way to the main dining level here. A couple just gotten up, and here's a new tablecloth down, new place setting. something started pulling a tablecloth against him, kind of like a tug of war. And he couldn't see what it was, he'd definitely feel it. He walked away and came back, and whatever it was gone. Another couple is over here as a fireplace, enjoying a nice dinner. Lay looking by the fireplace, there was a distinguished colonial man standing there. Well, next thing you know, he disappeared. Now, she thought he was a reenactor. There was another good place to eat here. It's called the Pirate's House Restaurant, which is excellent, and they have pirates to walk around, so she kind of thought it was like that. So, when the waiter came back to the table, she mentioned to him, he says, hold on a minute, let me get the manager. Brought the manager to the table, and the manager says, call me for a second. Inside the main level of the house here on the wall hangs a portrait of James Halverson Jr. When that woman saw that portrait, she froze. She said, that's the man I saw a few moments ago standing by the fireplace. But she got really freaked out, and the manager said he's the original owner of the home, who died in 1799. And that would have freaked me out just a little bit too, I think. This is the Owen Thomas house. This is a house museum. If you get a chance to tour a house museum while you're here, try to go inside one, because it's really kind of cool to see how they lived in those days. Nothing like we live now. Of course, the furniture is a lot more fancier and smaller to the ground. And I love the architecture in this house. It's called English Regency style architecture. I love the front door, that semi-circular door. They also have a room in there completely circular and a bridge on the second floor. Very unique to the house. I love the staircase here. You can see it all over Savannah. That's called an open arm staircase. It's called that because it looks like two open arms welcome you into the house. It's also the very first house in Savannah to have indoor plumbing. And they actually had running water 15 years before the White House did. So way ahead of its time. The house is haunted by the last owner. Her name was Margaret Gray Thomas. She was born in the house in 1871. She died in the same bedroom and the same bed she was born in 80 years later in 1951. Now, she was a spinster. She never married or had any children. Her sister was the same way. Now, one thing she did was kind of strange. She would dress up in her dead mother's Victorian clothing and have parties and teas. And she enjoyed it so much when she died, all her friends came together for one last time, had a party in honor. They all were dressed in Victorian clothing. Now, she likes to mess with the staff. She likes to move the furniture around. So they opened the door in the morning and dining room chairs and pulled away from the table like someone ate dinner the night before. She likes to move knickknacks around like pictures, figurines. The staff says they go in a room all of a sudden, so it goes flying across the room like a candlestick. The office smell was perfume in the house, like a rose smell, also a cigar. And when they close down for the day, they hear footsteps in the house. They always investigate but never find anybody. Now, when she died, she had no heirs. So she decided to will the house to Telfair Academy. The Telfair is a really beautiful art museum. It's over in Telfair Square. They've owned and operated the house since 1954. It's a huge garden right here. It's designed as an English style garden, which should not have been that fancy when Margaret lived in the house with more traditional flowers and fruit trees, things like that. When the Telfair took the house over, they designed it as the English style in the 50s. All through the years, we walk down the sidewalk at night, like we're doing, and kind of look through that gate where they're at, and see a wandering woman. They always describe her the same way, large hat on and a gray shawl wrapped around her shoulders. We do believe in Margaret because she loved the garden where she lived in the house, and a lot of times goes back to the area that they're familiar with in life. Across the street at the President Quarters, the hotel, the upper floors, they have direct views of the garden. So people look out the window at night, very nice view, see this wandering woman back here and tell the staff about it. And the staff says, oh, you saw how it goes. It's a house museum. It closes at 5 o'clock every day. So unless they have a party, which sometimes happens, there should be nobody here at night. But a lot of people have seen her over the years back here. I think they're leaving. We can go down there. I'll show you done. Okay. Let's see the balcony right behind us there. Beautiful iron balcony there. That is her bedroom. And all through the years, we walked down the sidewalk at night and looked up and see a woman peering in the window in that balcony there. We do believe Margaret, this is her bedroom. And that's the one room in the house that she's seen the most in. So why don't we go down there and y'all can look down there. So. Not your typical. As you look at your pictures, we're going to make way down the sidewalk here. So the ones that don't put pictures, we'll make way down the curb here. Or another curb. Savannah. It was 1820 by a Virginia planter. His name was Steele White. People say, why did he not name it 1820? It's just kind of weird. Well, it was a very bad year. In January 1820, a major fire broke out under City Market, ended up burning down over 470 buildings. In August 1820, a major yellow fever epidemic swept the city, killing almost 700 people, and a few months after that, a hurricane hit. So you have 3 tragedies in 1 year. That's a pretty bad year. So we have to assume 1790 was a better year. It is haunted by a young lady. Her name was Anna Powell. Anna was 19 years old. She was a maid at the inn. She fell in love with a German sailor. With us being a port city, we had a lot of sailors in that here. We still do. Also the boarding house as well. And he must have been staying there. That's how they met. They had a whirlwind romance. So madly in love. She wanted to get married. He says, well, I got to one more voyage out to sea, but I promise to come back to Savannah and marry you. So she waved him off to sea as the very last she ever saw him. She waited on any kind of letters, any kind of correspondence. Many, many months went by and nothing ever came. So she really got depressed, and one day she just couldn't take it anymore. She climbed upstairs on the 3rd floor, which was a balcony, come onto the balcony, jumped over the balcony, killing herself. The room she jumped from was room 204. They call that Anna's room, and if you stay there, you can probably experience her, because she likes to let you know she is still there. And she mostly targets couples. I think because she's jealous. That's something she not have in her lifetime. But she does not like ladies. She's been known to toss ladies out of the bed. Even one lady hit her head on a nightstand. But she loves men. Men have woke up feeling a hand soft on their cheek, on the arm. One man woke up and one at the foot of the bed with long hair. His wife was sound asleep next to him. Next thing you know, the one at the foot of the bed disappeared, but left a ditch in the bed, proving somebody actually was sitting there. They see shadowy figures in the room, hear a woman crying in the room, the lamp next to the bed will flicker off and on throughout the night. The telephone ring, you pick it up, there's no one there. She also likes to hide your personal items, jewelry, wallets, phones, even undergarments, and place them in areas you would not normally put them. Now, many, many years ago, you stayed in the room, you had to sign a waiver. If you left in the middle of the night because you're scared, you were not going to get a refund. They do not make you sign a waiver anymore. It is a very popular room to stay in. Now, do you have to request it? They don't randomly put people in there, okay? Now, we've had a lot of ghost shows filmed here. Ghost Adventures have been here. Ghost Hunters have been here. Haunted History on the History Channel. Do y'all know who Miley Cyrus is? Yeah. Okay, she filmed a movie on Tybee Island back in 2010 called The Last Song. Her and her mom heard about the room. They really want to get in there and stay. They actually in the paranormal, and they got her in for 3 nights. She came back filming one night on top of her bed with one of her suitcases. On top of that suitcase was one of her cowboy boots. A very strange handprint appeared on that cowboy boot. Now, she took a picture of that, sent it all over social media, and told a story about it. Today we stay in the room. There's a book of letters in there. That people have been about what the experience over the years in there. Her letter is inside that book. Now the restaurant here is also haunted. It's haunted by a former cook. This lady's a cook over 30-something years. She's known with lots of jewelry. And the staff says periodically, you hear bracelets jangling in the kitchen. She gets mad like a lot of cooks do. Those pots and pans across the kitchen area. The staff says she plays tricks on them, lays them down, all of a sudden goes missing. And I've had people on tour that have been in the dining room, and all of a sudden their fork flies off the table, goes flying across the room all by itself. So I think she messes with people eating there too. Let's head to the sidewalk here so we can show Anna's room. So if you get a chance to come back over here at night, come out here. She does make an extra pretty picture. If you want to get a good picture, stop right here, right in this area. The first house we're going to talk about is right across the street there. That's our William Kehoe house. Now if you look at everything that's white on the house, the columns, the window trees, all that's iron. Mr. Kehoe built the house in 1892. He actually was the owner of the iron foundry here. So remember we had a lot of fires here? He put that combination of brick and iron, make a pretty good fireproof home. He must have been right, it survived this whole time. Now when the Kehoe family moved in, they had 10 children, 5 girls and 5 boys. Now tragedy struck the family. In September 1902, their 4-year-old granddaughter came very sick. She ended up dying on the 3rd floor. A few days later, her sister became sick, died in the same room. She was almost 2. Probably a fever got both of them. 1922, one of the older sons died in the house. weeks after he died, Mrs. Kehoe died, and then Mr. Kehoe died in 1929. After his death, the 7 remaining children decided to sell the house. The next family to buy the house decided to turn it into a funeral home. It was a funeral home for 47 years. Today, it's a beautiful bed and breakfast. So the people you see wandering around in there, they're not ghosts, they're actual people staying there. Now the most visible ghost in the house is Mrs. Kehoe. They like to call her the lady in white, because the people see her, she has like a white flowing gown on. It is a very quiet night, nothing moving around at all, and the night clerk felt like somebody's kind of watching her. Look over by the main staircase, and there she was. She disappeared right into the night. Now the rooms beside the staircase there, those are actual rooms people stay in. And they also have the basement area as well. Behind those rooms is a very large laundry room. It had to be a very hot August day, like it is now, and all the guests would off the towels, and one of the workers got to collect towels and fold them. And all of a sudden, she became so cold. She just got bone-chilling cold. Let me tell you, that will never happen here in a basement, in a laundry room in August. It'll be like hot like it is now. Get me out of here really quickly. And next thing you know, a lady in white made an appearance. And the worker was so scared, she bowed her head, prayed for her to leave, which she did. She goes, I will never ever step foot in that one laundry by myself ever again. The one room Miss Kehoe mostly seen in is right behind a tree. There's a second floor. It's a curved room right there. That actually was her personal bedroom. Everybody likes our police cars. We call choose your ride car, tab, our police car. So I tell you, if you're drinking and driving, it's cheaper than cab for $20 compared to get DUI over $1,800. The police cars is 1953. The Browns are 1947. So y'all can look at them and remember which South there that has the cemetery. I like old car. That's cool. This is the oldest cemetery here. We call it Colonial Park Cemetery. It became a cemetery in 1750. Last person buried in 1853. It is 6 acres. We do believe between 9 and 10,000 people buried out here. It's a very rough estimate. The city hired a company to the ground penetrating radar. And they're supposed to put a flag there by they found whole cemeteries covered in flags. Now what's interesting is it had multiple layers of burials. Some of them were 2 and 3 deep. We kind of found out that was a common practice in those days. We used to call it the old brick wall cemetery. On the side, you see a little bit of the brick wall here by the police barracks. They had a brick wall just like that all around the cemetery up until 1896. 1896, they did a beautification project. They took the brick wall down off of 3 sides, and it's open for a long time, up until the 1960s. That's when this came up right here. About halfway down the brick wall, you can still see it because it's not dark yet, the actual tombstones that go all the way down the wall there. When General Sherman's army occupied Savannah in December 1864, there's well over 20,000 Union soldiers here. They occupied every square we had in the cemetery. Because the cemetery had the brick wall around it, they thought it'd be a good place to put the horse and wagons. So what it did was it came out here, pulled up all those tombstones out of the ground. Well, the problem with that was a lot of these tombstones were pretty old at that point, and they got broken, they got damaged. So when the soldiers left, they'll come clean the cemetery up, discover these broken tombstones. They didn't want to get rid of them, that's what's still buried out here. So what they decided to do was put them on the wall to help protect them. So that's why they're all on the wall right there. So if you get a chance to go out in the daytime, which I recommend, make your way to the side wall and see what I'm talking about. And sometimes a dark figure appears in the picture with you. Now the biggest population of burials came from the year 1820. Down gradually, making your skin turn a yellow color, like a jaundice color. That's probably how they diagnosed it. A lot of times your gums, your mouth bled badly. Some people call it Black Jack because you're vomiting black stuff out of your stomach and then you go into a coma and die. It really was a horrific way to go. Some people last about a week or two, and it just depends on how bad it was. It was really bad. Now, what the doctor was saying was, you think when your family members died, you can't feel a pulse. The doctor comes in, he can't feel a pulse, and next thing you know, a death wagon takes the body away. Well, the problem with that was, you can still be alive because you're in a deep coma with a very low pulse rate. And we can see how it happens because it happens today when people have low pulse rate. In those days, doctors had nowhere near the amount of training they have now. And of course, they have the same amount of equipment we have now. We know for a fact, people have been very alive out here. We actually discovered scratch marks in the caskets out here. Now, we're not the only place in the country it happened. It happened other places too. If you ever do a ghost tour in New Orleans, they had the above ground mausoleums there. And they had talked about when you open the doors, discovering bodies in those doors, so they were trying to come out. Now there was ways those days to avoid being buried alive. One way was a string would attach your finger on the outside casket attached to a bell. The theory was you woke up, your hand would move, that triggered that bell to ring. That's where the term dead ringer comes from, also saved by the bell. They did actually some people saved by the bell. Families would hire somebody, you know, to watch over a casket at night for any kind of activity or hear that bell ring, and that's where the term graveyard shift come from. So there was ways in place, but unfortunately, it still happened. Now during epidemics, they would not been able to use the bell. People were in panic mode, people were scared, you know, that kind of thing. Now, the worst epidemic we had was 1876. We lost over 1,600. Now, they said George Washington was so terrified about being buried alive, he insisted on his servants watching over his body for 2 full days before he actually was placed in the ground. That's how terrified he was.
How creepy are these trees with the moss?
This is our main gate of the cemetery. It's dedicated in 1913. Now remember I told y'all how the brick wall came down in 1896? The original wall was right past these palm trees. It's also known as our hanging square. We used to have public hangings here. And the story I'm going to tell y'all about has to be the first woman to hang in Georgia. Her name was Alice Riley. Alice was an indentured servant. A lot of people don't know what that was. Back in the early colonial days, they're expensive to come across the Atlantic and start a new life here. There's somebody in the colony who had money to pay the voyage for you. Then he has a contract of servitude anywhere 4 to 7 years. Once you survive that contract, then you can stay in the colony. Now when y'all go down to River Street, you see the western across the river there, the big convention center, all that's like a huge island called Hudson Island. It's just right in the middle of the Savannah River. Now, Georgia owns the island. On the other side of the island is South Carolina. In 1734, a man named Mr. William Wise lived on the island. He was a very mean, hateful man. Nobody liked him at all. Even our founder, General Oglethorpe, despised him. He had quite a bit of money. So in January 1734, he brought over 2 Irish indentured servants. One was Alice, and one was named Richard Wright. Now we assume Alice and Richard knew each other. They came from the same small village in Ireland, and they had a long voyage across the Atlantic together, which we suspect they became romantically involved. Totally against the law at that time, so if you were an indentured servant, you had no life. Once they arrived on the island, Mr. Wise, he was an older gentleman, and one of the jobs he made Alice do was to wash his hair twice a week. He had really long hair, which he was proud of. He bought a special bucket of water to his bedroom. He washed his hair thoroughly, and she later leave, and Richard would come in and groom him. Now, for some reason, Mr. Wise hated Alice. He verbally, mentally, and physically abused her every single day. Some days pretty badly. He also abused Richard too, but nowhere near the point he did Alice. So about 3 months of abuse went on. In late March 1734, Richard went to Alice one day and said, you know what, I cannot deal with abuse anymore. I think we can kill him and run over Charleston when nobody knows we are. So he had come up with a plan. So a few weeks later, Alice put the bucket of water like she normally did. She left the room. Richard came in and grabbed Mr. Wise by the neck. He wore a handkerchief thing on his neck. puts her head into it a couple times, and tosses his head in a bucket of water. We also think Alice came in to hold the head down too, long enough for actually to be drowned. So he just tossed his body in the bed and took off running. What they didn't count on was the next day, somebody went to go check on Mr. Wise and discovered his dead body. And then they noticed that the disturbers were missing. So they notified the militia. Militia searched for them, ended up finding them after making their escape over to South Carolina, and were brought back to town and placed on trial. Now, Richard went in front of the court first, completely defended himself, so all that abuse went on over there. The court came back and said, well, you are indeed your servant, you did kill a man, and you'll die by hanging. And they threw him in jail, which where our CBS is today behind us there. That's where the jail sat for a long time. They threw him in jail a few weeks later and brought him out here and hung him. Now, back in those days, they had permanent gallows here. You would have hung all day, or sometime the next day, because it was a deterrent. Now, Alice, a little bit of a story. They really didn't want to hang a woman because only a year old at this point, but she helped commit a crime. When she went in front of the court, she completely denied everything. She said, I walked in, Mr. Wise is already dead, I ran off because I got scared. What she didn't realize was, Richard kind of let slip she was involved, and so the court debated back and forth, said, you know what, she is guilty as he is, they threw her in jail. Now, about a week after she was thrown in jail, she all of a sudden announced she was pregnant. Well, they really didn't believe her, thought, oh, she's trying to get out of her sentence. A doctor did examine her a couple times and discovered she actually was pregnant. Well, we can't hang a pregnant woman, so they actually let her stay in jail to actually have a child. She went full term, delivered her baby boy right in the jail cell. She named that baby James. They let her have that baby for quite a few weeks. Out of the blue, somebody went in, took the baby out of her arms, and gave it to another family. Of course, she was devastated, crying hysterically, and a few weeks after that, they brought her out here and hung her. She hung January 19, 1735. And when they brought her out of the jail cell, she was screaming at the top of her lungs, I'm an innocent woman, you're killing an innocent woman, and where's my baby? On and on about the baby. That was her number one concern. Well, she's the most visible ghost out here. People say all through the years. They always describe her the same way. Reddish hair and wearing a gray dress. Periodically, somebody enjoy a nice evening out here, they hear a woman's voice saying, where's my baby, where's my baby? Now, reportedly, she has been seen with more people in the United States than any other ghost. She's been in a lot of ghost shows. And the sad thing about it is, her baby boy ended up passing away a few months after she did. He got sick suddenly and died. So the whole story is really tragic.
Oh, there's a market here. Let's go to the market bit. $1.
I'm coming up there, Jordan. I'm warning you, man.
This is cool.
Save up some better looking, that's all I got.
Coming up there in my bus, and I'm gonna back her in for a while. Back to this creek.
It's a Rice Krispie. How big it is. Massive.
That's what they say in the world when they say Rice Krispie treat. That's what they are.
That's what it is?
The rice, it's like an LCM. It's a Rice
Nice.
Krispie treat.
They're in this cool little lolly shop. It's actually quite big. It's got everything.
Just heading back to our hotel now after our tour. We walked through that little market. It was really nice to see. It was quite lively there, even though the rest of the town's all closed. But I know. Where can you get water from? I thought that much. Oh, it's actually cheap. Is it cheaper here? No. Expensive. But is it bigger? I wonder if our hotel is haunted.
I don't know, is it an old one?
Yeah, it smells old. It smells moist.
It's called Indigo.
Huh?
It's called Indigo. Hotel.
So do you reckon it's haunted by a ghost called Indigo?
Could be.
Jeez, you're coming very close to me, aren't you? You're getting up in my grill.
You're getting in my grill.